The radio crackled just after sunset, cutting through the quiet of the Ohio countryside. Officer Ethan Ward tightened his grip on the wheel as the dispatcher's voice came through reports of strange lights in the abandoned farmhouse on Ridge Road. Possible trespassers. Proceed with caution. Beside him, Luna, his 4-year-old German Shepherd, shifted in the seat, ears pricking sharply at the change in Ethan's tone. She had been calm moments ago, but now her body was taut, restless. Ethan glanced at her and felt the weight settle in his chest. He'd learned long ago when Luna sensed something, it was never false alarm. The farmhouse appeared in the distance, its crooked silhouette rising against the bruised sky. Windows, shattered walls, rotting. The place had been empty for years or so, everyone believed. Ethan slowed the cruiser headlights sweeping across the broken porch. The fields around it were deathly still. Not even the crickets dared to sing. Then it happened. Luna froze. Her body stiffened, lips curled in a low growl, eyes locked on the upstairs window. Ethan's pulse quickened. This wasn't routine. This was something else, something waiting inside that house, watching. He reached for his flashlight and whispered, "Easy, girl. We're going in." When a police K9 froze in front of an abandoned house, officers assumed it was just another empty property. But the dog refused to move, his eyes locked on the rotting walls, as if he could see something the humans could not. Moments later, what they uncovered inside turned into one of the most chilling rescues in history and changed everything forever. Before we begin, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And I'm really curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country's name in the comments below. I love seeing how far our stories travel around the world. The old farmhouse loomed in front of them, its roof sagging under years of decay. Shattered windows gaped like hollow eyes, and the broken shutters groaned in the cold evening wind. Officer Ethan Ward adjusted his flashlight, scanning the dark outline of the building. To him, it was supposed to be just another abandoned property check. But Luna, his German Shepherd partner, thought otherwise. The moment they stepped out of the cruiser, Luna froze. Her ears pricked sharply toward the house, her body stiff as stone. Ethan tugged gently on the leash. "Come on, girl," he muttered. But Luna didn't move. Her amber eyes were locked on a single upstairs window, her chest rumbling with a low, guttural growl. At first, the other officers dismissed it. Maybe she smelled raccoons, maybe stray cats. But Ethan had worked with Luna long enough to know the difference. This wasn't curiosity, it was certainty. The air seemed to thicken with every second she refused to budge. Ethan's grip tightened around his flashlight. His pulse quickened. Whatever was in that house wasn't going to stay hidden much longer. "All right," he whispered to his team. "Weapons ready. We're going in." The front porch sagged under their boots, each creak echoing like a warning to turn back. Ethan's flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing peeling wallpaper and dust swirling in the stale air. The house smelled of mildew and something far more unsettling, something that clung to the back of his throat. Luna pulled forward her body-tense nose, sweeping the ground with precision. Her growl deepened as they reached a narrow hallway. Every step made Ethan's chest tighten. He trusted Luna's instincts. She had never been wrong before. Suddenly she lunged, nearly yanking the leash from Ethan's hand. She clawed at a half-rotted door at the end of the hall, barking furiously. Ethan's pulse spiked. His fellow officers exchanged grim glances. "It's the basement," one muttered. Ethan swallowed hard. He could hear the faint echo of something below, like whispers too soft to be the wind. He steadied his weapon. "All right, we're going down." The wooden stairs groaned as they descended, the sound amplified in the suffocating silence. Flashlights swept across cracked cement walls, rusted pipes dripping steadily. Luna moved ahead, her body vibrating with urgency, her growl echoing off the walls. At first, the basement looked empty, just broken furniture and scattered debris. But Luna wasn't fooled. She pawed at one wall, barking with desperate insistence. Ethan shone his light on it and froze. The section of wall was too smooth, too new compared to the decay around it. A false panel. The officers exchanged tense nods. One pushed. The wall shifted with a groan, opening to reveal a narrow passage. And then from the darkness within came the faintest sound. A whimper. Small. Fragile. Human. The false wall groaned open wider, dust spilling into the air like a cloud of secrets too long buried. Ethan's heart pounded in his ears as he steadied his flashlight and stepped closer. Luna surged forward, her body tense, ears pinned, a growl vibrating in her chest. "Hold on, girl," Ethan whispered, though his own hands shook. He raised his weapon, signaling the others. "On me." The beam of light cut through the narrow passage, illuminating cracked cement and rotting wood. The smell hit first damp sweat and something that made Ethan's stomach churn. Then came the sound again. A whimper. Higher pitched this time, followed by a faint sob. Ethan's throat went dry. "There's someone down there." They moved in steps, echoing down the cramped tunnel until it opened into a hidden chamber. The moment their light swept across the space, the officers froze. Small faces stared back at them, wide, terrified eyes reflecting the glare of the flashlights. 23 children huddled together in the dark, their clothes tattered, their cheeks streaked with dirt and tears. Some clutched each other, others pressed against the walls as if trying to melt into them. The sudden burst of light made them flinch, whimpers rising into frightened cries. Ethan felt his chest tighten. They weren't reacting to the police. They thought it was just more captors. He lowered his gun immediately, voice soft but steady. "It's okay. You're safe now." But it wasn't Ethan who broke through the wall of fear. It was Luna. The German Shepherd stepped forward, tail low, ears gentle, and let out a soft whine. She moved slowly, carefully lowering herself onto her belly. The children's cries softened. One trembling boy reached out his small fingers, brushing Luna's fur. She stayed perfectly still. The boy's shoulders sagged, and soon others followed, tiny hands reaching, clinging to Luna like she was their lifeline. Ethan swallowed hard, his vision blurring. "Good girl," he whispered. "You found them." The basement wasn't empty, it was a prison, and Luna had just unlocked the first door to freedom. For a moment, the basement was nothing but silence and shallow breathing. Ethan's flashlight trembled in his hand as he took in the sight of the children pressed together like fragile shadows. His pulse thundered in his ears, but he forced his voice to stay calm. "You're safe now," he said softly, lowering himself to their level. "No one's going to hurt you again." Still, the kids recoiled until Luna moved closer. The shepherd pressed her nose gently against the hand of the boy who had first touched her. He whimpered, then clutched her fur as though she were the only thing keeping him from sinking. The others followed, small hands reaching out, tugging at Luna's collar, her ears anything solid. For the first time, their cries quieted into whispers. Ethan's throat tightened. "Good girl," he murmured. "Keep them steady, Luna." Backup officers streamed into the room, their footsteps heavy on the old stairs. The air shifted from fear to urgent action. Blankets were passed down, water bottles uncapped. A paramedic knelt beside the smallest girl, checking her pulse with trembling hands. As the children were guided out one by one, their tiny hands refused to let go of Luna. They clung to her fur, their faces buried against her side, unwilling to trust the world, but willing to trust her. Ethan exhaled a shaky breath, eyes scanning the damp walls, the rusted chains, the crude drawings smeared across cement. This wasn't just a rescue, it was the uncovering of a nightmare, and Luna had led them straight into the heart of it. The first child stumbled into the open air, clutching Luna's fur, as if afraid the darkness would pull them back. The night sky stretched above, wide and endless, and for the children who had known only the suffocating basement, the sight seemed unreal. Some squinted at the flashing red and blue lights, their eyes watering, while others buried their faces against Luna, trembling. Ethan guided them carefully toward the waiting ambulances. Paramedics rushed forward with blankets wrapping the children's frail bodies, checking pulses, whispering reassurances. But even as gloved hands reached out, the little ones clung to Luna, unwilling to release their lifeline. "She brought us hope," Ethan murmured, watching his partner stand steady among them, her tail swishing gently, as if telling them they were safe. Neighbors had begun to gather at the police tape, their hushed voices carrying prayers, gasps, and disbelief. Officers exchanged grim glances as evidence was logged and the house secured. But Ethan's eyes stayed on the children, on their tiny hands, clutching Luna on their faces, slowly shifting from fear to fragile relief. In that moment, the true hero wasn't in uniform. It was Luna the dog who refused to walk away. The following week, the town of Willow Creek gathered at City Hall. Families of the rescued children filled the room, their tears of gratitude flowing freely as they clutched their little ones close. Reporters lined the back wall, cameras flashing, but the spotlight was not on the officers, it was on Luna. Ethan stood proudly beside his partner as the police chief bent down and placed a shining medal around the German Shepherd's neck. The crowd erupted in applause, cheers echoing off the old wooden walls of the hall. Children once trembling in fear now ran forward to hug Luna, their tiny hands burying into her thick fur. She stood tall and calm, tail wagging softly, as if she understood the weight of the moment. Sometimes, Ethan said into the microphone, his voice steady but thick with emotion, "The bravest hearts don't wear a badge. They walk on 4 paws." His words drew another wave of applause, parents nodding through their tears. That night, as the crowd dispersed and the children returned home safe, one truth lingered in every heart. It wasn't just the officers who saved lives. It was Luna the K9 who refused to look away when the world nearly did. In life, the story of Ethan and Luna reminds us that courage and loyalty often come from the most unexpected places. Luna, a K9, didn't just uncover danger, she revealed a truth that humans almost overlooked. This teaches us an essential lesson. Sometimes instinct, trust, and perseverance matter just as much as logic and rules. Too often we ignore small signals or silence our intuition, only to realize later that it was guiding us towards something important. The children rescued that night remind us that even in the darkest circumstances, hope can be found when someone refuses to give up. Luna's unwavering focus shows that love and loyalty can break through fear and uncover hidden truths. In our daily lives, whether facing challenges at work, family struggles, or personal fears, the lesson is clear. Trust deeply. Act with courage and never underestimate the power of persistence to bring light into darkness.